My wife announced, "I'm giving you a performance review every month like a real job." I said, "Brilliant." Then I CC'd her on my email to a divorce lawyer requesting a termination package. Her performance review disappeared from my desk that night. I, 38 male, thought my wife Roxanne, 36, was joking when she slid a laminated folder across the breakfast table last Monday. We'd been married for 7 years, together for 9. No kids by choice, both working professionals. "What's this?" "Your first performance review," she said, sipping her green juice. "I've been taking a management course and they emphasize bringing corporate efficiency to all aspects of life." I opened the folder. There was an actual evaluation form, my name at the top. Categories like household contribution, emotional availability, physical fitness, and romance initiative. I was rated on a scale of 1 to 5. I scored a 2.3 overall. Areas for improvement included: leaves dishes in sink. Sometimes. Gained 15 pounds since wedding. Forgot anniversary of our first date. Not wedding anniversary, the first date. Uses phone during designated couple time. Snores. Apparently, this is a performance issue now. At the bottom, employee must show improvement by next month's review or face disciplinary action. Employee? I asked. It's just terminology. Don't be sensitive. What kind of disciplinary action? She pulled out another laminated sheet. Level 1, loss of gaming privileges. Level 2, separate bedrooms. Level 3, counseling mandate. Level 4, trial separation. You're serious. Relationships require accountability, Ethan. You've been coasting. I looked at the review again. Under romance initiative, she'd written, shows minimal effort. Last spontaneous gesture. Gas station flowers. November. Those were roses I'd bought her after her grandmother's funeral. Where's your review? I asked. I'm management. Management doesn't get reviewed by employees. That's when I knew this wasn't about improvement. This was about control. Brilliant idea, I said, finishing my coffee. Really innovative. She beamed. I knew you'd understand once you thought about it. I went to work. During lunch, I sent an email to a divorce lawyer I'd found online. Subject line, consultation request, termination package options. I CC'd Roxanne. The body was simple. Dear Mr. Hutchinson, I need to discuss terminating a 7-year contract due to hostile work environment and unrealistic performance metrics. The managing partner has instituted unilateral review processes that I believe constitute constructive dismissal from the partnership. Please advise on separation packages and asset division. Best, Ethan. My phone exploded 20 minutes later. 63 texts in 5 minutes. I didn't read them. When I got home that night, the performance review folder had vanished from my desk. Roxanne was in the kitchen. Rage chopping vegetables. That wasn't funny. Neither was the review. I'm trying to improve our marriage. By treating me like an employee. Where's the mutual evaluation? Where's my input on your performance? She slammed the knife down. That email was abusive. It was honest. You want corporate structure? There it is. She stormed upstairs. I slept on the couch that night. Not because she kicked me out. Because I chose to. The next morning, there was a new folder on the kitchen table. Incident report. Hostile communication. She'd actually documented my email as a workplace violation. Update 1, y'all called it. She doubled down hard. After the incident report, Roxanne started CCing her sister Fiona on everything. Fiona has a PhD in organizational psychology and 0 relationship experience. She's been single for 12 years and counts her plants as roommates. Their first collaboration was a relationship mission statement that I was supposed to sign. It included gems like, Ethan commits to bi-weekly check-ins regarding emotional labor distribution. Roxanne maintains veto power over household decisions as senior partner. Performance reviews continue monthly with added peer review from selected friends. Peer review. She wanted our friends to rate my husband's performance. I responded by creating my own documentation. I called it Exit Interview Prep and left it open on my laptop. It included timeline of unilateral decisions. She'd redecorated my office without asking, sold my motorcycle because it was too dangerous, invited her mother to stay for 3 months without discussing it. Financial records showing I paid 70% of our bills despite us agreeing to 50-50. Screenshots of her text to friends calling me, basically a roommate with benefits. She found it, obviously. That was the point. Her response. She scheduled a mediation session with her friend Goldie, who is a life coach, not a therapist. A life coach who got certified online during lockdown. The mediation was insane. Goldie showed up with a PowerPoint about optimizing relationship ROI. Slide 6 was titled, Ethan's Deficiency Matrix. It had a graph. A graph of my supposed failures as a "this is dehumanizing." Goldie gasped. That's aggressive language. No, aggressive is ambushing someone with a PowerPoint about their failures. Roxanne started crying. You're sabotaging this. I'm refusing to be treated like a broken appliance you're trying to fix. I left. Went to my brother Calvin's place. He looked at the performance review folder I'd brought and laughed for 5 straight minutes. She graded your snoring. 2 out of 5. Lost points for volume and frequency. Divorce her ass. Already started. That night, Roxanne sent an email to my entire family, subject, concern for Ethan's mental health. She wrote 3 paragraphs about how I was responding to constructive feedback with hostility and showing signs of severe conflict avoidance. She suggested they stage an intervention. My mom responded honey, the only intervention Ethan needs is a good lawyer. My dad added, P.S. You spelled commitment wrong. My sister Jules just sent a gif of someone running away. Roxanne then created a shared Google Calendar called Ethan's Improvement Journey and invited everyone we knew. It had scheduled growth sessions and accountability meetings. Nobody accepted the invite except Fiona, who commented, "This is revolutionary relationship management." That's when I realized Roxanne wasn't going to stop. This was her new identity. She was a relationship optimizer now. So I optimized my way out. Update 2. The lawyer meeting was enlightening. Turns out documenting your spouse's deficiencies in writing and sharing them with others can actually work against you in divorce proceedings. Hutchinson called it creating evidence of emotional abuse. But Roxanne wasn't done. She pivoted to relationship rehabilitation. She hired an actual business consultant. This dude Garrison showed up at our house with a briefcase and tried to do a workflow analysis of our marriage. He wanted to shadow us for a week to identify inefficiencies. This is insane, I told him. Resistance to change is natural, he replied, making notes on his iPad. But optimization requires discomfort. I'm not a process to be optimized. He typed something. Probably subject shows resistance to improvement. I refused to participate. Stayed at Calvin's most of that week. But here's the kicker. Roxanne was paying Garrison $300 an hour. From our savings, our joint savings that she had access to, I immediately opened my own account and redirected my paycheck. Legal and necessary. She called it financial infidelity in her next performance review, which she emailed to me at work. Yes, she was still doing reviews even though I'd moved out. My score had dropped to 1.8. Lost points for abandonment, staying at Calvin's. Non-cooperation with consultant. Stealing money, my own paycheck. Refusing mediation. Poisoning the well with family. The email ended with immediate improvement required or termination inevitable. I replied, termination already in progress. See attached. I attached the divorce filing. Her response was to show up at my office with Garrison and a camera crew. Yeah, she'd hired someone to document our journey for her new YouTube channel. Optimizing Love, a corporate approach to marriage. Security escorted them out. My boss thankfully found it hilarious. Is your wife okay mentally? That's being evaluated, I said. But the YouTube thing was real. She'd already posted 2 videos. When your partner refuses growth, 23 views. Performance reviews save marriages, 45 views, mostly dislikes. She was positioning herself as a relationship expert based on our failing marriage. Then came the emails to my friends. Individual performance requests. She wanted them to rate me as a friend and husband with feedback on how I could improve. The email included a SurveyMonkey link. My buddy responded. Is this a cry for help? Blink twice if you need extraction. My friend Damon just replied. No, but her friend group ate it up. They started doing reviews for their own partners. 3 relationships ended within a week. Roxanne called it necessary pruning. Book date 3, divorce proceedings started. Roxanne showed up with a full presentation about why she deserved alimony. It included a pie chart of emotional labor she performed, metrics on household management, something called a relationship investment portfolio, projected costs for her continued growth journey. The judge looked at it for about 30 seconds. Man, this is not a corporate boardroom. I'm just trying to show. You're trying to quantify a marriage like a business merger. That's not how this works. Roxanne's lawyer looked like he wanted to crawl under the table. He'd clearly told her not to bring the presentation. Then my lawyer dropped the bomb. All those performance reviews, all those deficiency matrices, legal gold. Your Honor, my client has been subjected to systematic emotional abuse disguised as corporate efficiency. We have documentation of Mrs. Peterson grading his snoring, creating public forums for criticizing him and attempting to involve his employer in personal matters. The judge reviewed everything. His face went from neutral to confused to mildly horrified. Mrs. Peterson, did you really create a spreadsheet tracking your husband's bathroom time? Efficiency monitoring is standard in. This is a marriage, not Amazon warehouse. We took a break in the hallway. Roxanne tried one last manipulation. We could call this off, go to real counseling, start fresh. Without performance reviews. Well, we'd need some accountability structure. No, you're throwing away 7 years. You threw it away when you turned me into an employee. Her sister Fiona interjected. This is just his fear of growth talking. Calvin, who'd come for moral support, laughed. Lady, the only thing growing here is your delusion. Fiona gasped. That's verbal violence. No, that's called reality. Your sister tried to Yelp review her husband. Back in court, the judge made his ruling. Clean split of assets. No alimony either way. The house would be sold. Proceeds divided. Roxanne tried to argue she deserved more because she'd invested in improvement strategies. The judge actually laughed. You invested in destroying your marriage with corporate buzzwords. Outside the courthouse, Roxanne announced she was starting a consulting firm, Love Metrics LLC, bringing accountability to romance. Her business cards had star ratings on them. Update 4. The house sold fast. Roxanne used her half to fund her new business. She rented office space, created a website, started a podcast called Rate Your Relationship. Episode 1. My ex-husband's fear of excellence got roasted in the comments. People called her dystopian, psychotic, and my personal favorite, the corporate Karen of love. She responded to every criticism with management speak. Someone would write, "This is toxic," and she'd reply, "I appreciate your feedback and will integrate it into my growth metrics moving forward." Meanwhile, I moved into a nice apartment, started dating Penelope, a teacher I met at a coffee shop. When I told her the performance review story, she laughed so hard she nearly choked on her latte. Please tell me you kept them. Every single one. That's museum-worthy insanity. We've been dating 3 months now. She's never once graded my snoring, but Roxanne's story gets worse, or better, depending on your perspective. Her consulting firm failed spectacularly. Her first client was her friend Meredith, whose husband Kyle filed for divorce after receiving his first performance review. The review included needs improvement in lawn maintenance and subpar gift-giving creativity. Her second client, Ingrid, tried the system on her boyfriend. He responded by CCing Ingrid on his Tinder reactivation email. By month 3, Love Metrics LLC had 0 clients and 5 one-star Google reviews. All from ex-partners of people who'd tried her system. But the peak came last week. Roxanne tried to date again. She matched with a guy named Dennis on an app. Their first date, she brought a preliminary assessment form. Dennis documented the whole thing on Twitter. The thread went viral. 82K retweets. Someone turned it into a TikTok that got 3 million views. She became a meme. Performance Review Patty, they called her. The best tweet. Imagine grading someone's small talk on a first date. Could never be me. 5 stars. Would not date again. Fiona tried to defend her sister online, calling it innovation shaming. She got ratioed so hard she made her account private. Final update. It's been 6 months since the divorce finalized. I'm doing great. Penelope and I are happy. She jokes about giving me performance reviews, but they're all 5/5. Would husband again. When I do something nice. Roxanne's journey has been something else. After the viral incident, she pivoted again. Now she's a recovery coach for optimization survivors. She helps people who've been through toxic productivity culture. The irony is completely lost on her. Her website bio says, "After my own journey through the darkness of metrics-based thinking, I'm here to help others find balance." She's basically coaching people to recover from exactly what she did to me. Garrison, the business consultant, sued her for unpaid fees. Turns out she owed him $4,500. She tried to pay him in exposure from her YouTube channel. He declined. Her YouTube channel peaked at 234 subscribers. Most videos now get under 50 views. The comments are brutal. This woman performance reviewed her husband snoring and wonders why she's divorced. Imagine being so insufferable that your own family roasts you via reply all. Plot twist. She was the one who needed improvement. Last month, she reached out one final time. Not to apologize. Roxanne doesn't do apologies. She wanted me to appear on her podcast for an episode called When Partners Resist Evolution. I replied with a performance review of her podcast. Content quality 1.5. Repetitive and lacks insight. Host engagement. 1 CEFs. Talks over guests. Doesn't listen. Doesn't listen. Production value 2.5 THS. Decent mic, terrible editing. Overall rating 1.5/5, needs significant improvement. Recommendation. Termination of podcast. She blocked me on everything after that. Calvin framed my review and gave it to me for Christmas. It hangs in my apartment now. The last I heard through mutual friends. She's dating a life optimization expert. She met at a productivity seminar. They schedule their dates in 90-minute connection sprints. He gave her a performance review after their 3rd date. She cried. They're still together somehow. They deserve each other. Fiona still insists her sister was ahead of her time. She started her own consulting firm. Love Systems International. 0 clients so far. She keeps posting LinkedIn articles about why traditional romance is dead that get 3 likes, 1 from Roxanne, 1 from her mom, 1 from a bot. Their mom called me last week. I'm sorry about Roxanne. I don't know where I went wrong. You didn't. She just watched too many productivity YouTube videos. She tried to review my Thanksgiving turkey. Gave it a 3.2. We both laughed. As for me, life is peaceful. No metrics. No reviews. No improvement plans. Just actual human connection with someone who sees me as a partner, not a project. Penelope saw Roxanne at a grocery store last week. Roxanne was arguing with a cashier about the inefficiency of their checkout process and demanding to speak to someone about optimization opportunities. The cashier was 17 and dead inside. "Ma'am, this is a grocery store." Exactly. There's so much room for improvement. Security eventually escorted her out for harassing staff. She probably gave them all 1-star reviews in her head. To anyone dealing with someone who treats relationships like a business, run. Run fast, run far. Love isn't a KPI. Marriage isn't a performance metric. And your worth can't be measured on a 5-point scale. Unless you're grading how fast you can divorce someone who thinks it can be. Then I give myself 5 theft stars. Edit. Stop asking for Roxanne's business contact. It doesn't exist anymore. Also, Garrison is doing well. He only works with actual businesses now and has no couples in his email signature. Edit 2. For everyone asking, yes, the performance reviews are real. I have them in a folder labeled Evidence of Insanity. My lawyer kept copies too. He shows them to other lawyers at conferences as the wildest case I ever had. Edit 3. Dennis, viral date guy, reached out. We're friends now. He's dating someone normal. We have a group chat called Performance Review Survivors with Kyle and 3 other guys who've been through similar situations. We meet for beers monthly. No agendas, no metrics. Just dudes recovering from dating nightmares.